Usually when one person leaves the feature match area and the other one stays, generally speaking, that means the person staying wins.
It looks like you're right, too, my friend. Jason Ellis is going to win this match over Chris Vanmeter 2-1. Rug Delver moving on. So Ellis improving on his performance from yesterday. He made top 8 yesterday. He's in the top 4 now, and he'll be playing against his card mate and good friend, Ross Merriam, in the semifinals.
When's the last time we've had carpool buddies top 8 both events?
I have no clue.
We don't really have an official record of that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ponder to begin things for Boettcher. I wonder if the last time we had 2 players, not even the same car, just 2 players top 8 both opens.
That's got to have happened recently.
I imagine it's happened before, but they both top 8 the Standard Open and both top 8 the Legacy Open. That's hard to do.
Yep.
Got to resolve a Ponder here.
Since I nearly did it myself, I assume that this has happened numerous times.
I imagine that one person has done it many times. But having 2 different people do it, that seems a little more rare.
Yeah.
Boettcher and Shiels having some conversation here. 2 pretty good buddies playing some Magic right now.
Is there a more aptly named card in the history of Magic than Ponder?
No. No, there is not. Sometimes they just get it right. Sunlance the draw here for Shiels. Normally it's Shiels the one who's playing the blue cards too. There's an Aether Vial to start things off. We'll see if this resolves. It looks like it will. Shiels is going to go reaching for a die to get ready there.
Really powerful opening and validating whatever counterspells Jared has left in the deck.
Polluted Delta for Boettcher. He's going to go down to 19. We'll see which land he wants to search out. Again, this 4-color Delver deck, you know, it's got a light splash of black. Nothing too crazy. It's kind of like a Rug Delver deck, just with a little touch of black. Some of the sideboard cards here, Deathrite Shaman, side of that ability. Reminds you a lot of Esper Deathblade, where basically that's a blue, black, white deck with a small touch of green.
Yeah. But it does do some appreciable harm to the mana base, because it's not really like this deck is in the market to play basic island, and that's what Underground Sea is in a lot of spots.
This is a Brainstorm. So we're going to go a little deep. A Misty. 2 is a Bolt. 3 is a Grim Lavamancer. He used the Volcanic instead of the Underground to cast this. But, you know, there's some tension on the mana base, too.
Well, there's 4 Deathrite Shamans and 2 Grim Lavamancers. So,
Yeah.
you know, he's playing the odds there, but it has bit him here. Although it appears that he has Deathrite in hand, so. For the record, dictionary.com defines ponder as to consider something deeply and thoroughly, meditate, to weigh carefully in the mind, consider thoughtfully. I think that is an apt description.
I suppose you could never give a slow play warning when someone's resolving a Ponder, then.
I hope that is not actually a rule.
Violet will tick up to 1 here for Shiels. You see the Deathrite Shaman there from Boettcher.
And this feels worthy of a Sunlance.
Hard to argue. Looks like Dave's going to do some pondering now.
Yep.
He could deploy another Vial, start working the game that way. Doesn't look like he has a lot of mana. And this is a Sunlance. Gonna try to get Deathrite Shaman off the table. That'll get the job done. See if there's gonna be a follow-up. There will not be, so no second land here for Shiels. He's kind of all in on the Vial at this point, as Boettcher will draw a card. He does know what card this is, so he put 2 back from a main phase Brainstorm. So there's the Grim Lavamancer.
Even though Grim Lavamancer is powerful here, if Dave has a Mother of Runes that he can vial out here, it may not do a lot of work.
Yep.
Or it may have to be sequenced over the course of numerous turns.
Volcanic Island, the card that Boettcher's going to grab right now. So no green mana yet here for the 4-color Delver player. Does have 3 of the 4. So after he does finish shuffling and presenting, we'll see what he wants to do in his first main phase. Wouldn't be surprised just to simply see a Lavamancer and maybe pass the turn back.
Although from this spot, Underground Sea and Tropical Island are effectively the same card. They're just dual lands that allow him to cast Deathrite Shaman. There are no explicitly green cards in the deck.
How about a True Name Nemesis? Dave
Okay.
Shiels. Let's see who's that has protection from. There's some other runes that you did mention.
So the race is on now.
Revoker the draw. Not a land, that's for sure.
But David does have some tools to race.
Shiels thinking briefly about attack, thinking better of it.
That is an aggressive attack there. Mother Runes, some utility on defense. Also, True Name Nemesis will just kill it.
And just pass the turn back. Over to Boettcher, who will untap and take a draw. Now, one thing that's nice for Shiels here in this matchup is that he doesn't have to worry about True Nemesis ever grabbing hold of a piece of equipment.
Yes.
And making things really difficult that way. That's what we oftentimes see with True Name, always paired up with white for Stoneforge. But not this go around for Boettcher. White's actually the one color he doesn't have.
Sarah Avenger is the same clock as True Name Nemesis.
That's true.
You know, True Name provides a lot more utility, of course, but strictly, as a strict racing tool, Shields has the ability to outrace this thing.
Brainstorm for Boettcher. 3 cards coming. 1 is a Ponder, 2 is a Brainstorm, 3 is a Polluted Delta. He has not played his land yet this turn, so he can make it a perfect Brainstorm. I think the problem here for Jared is his hand is full of a lot of very good cards.
Yeah. I mean, he could just cast his 2 Grim Lavamancers this turn, and then next turn spend mana kind of cantripping again and refueling.
Let's see. It looks like he's ready to put 2 cards back. A lot of red spells in his hand, though. He had 2 Bolts and 2 Lavamancers when he was resolving this Brainstorm. Looks like he may have put at least 1 of those cards back. And there's a Delta. This is a Lavamancer. See, Shields is going to take a look at his hand really quickly here. And here comes True Name. Shields is going to go down to 17.
So it begins. Shields start to race back a little bit.
Vials, as you saw Avenger come in, staying maybe at 2-1. And Shields says it will be 2-1. Wasteland the draw. See how important of a card that is.
Can't really cut Boettcher off of any sort of color mana as long as he has his Delta up.
You see Boettcher's hand right now. He's got a Thalia, which is a little late to the party. Flicker Wisp that Shields can't put into play just yet. Another copy of Sarah Avenger. He's going to start by attacking with the one that's in play. Jared wants to make sure, does that fly? The answer is yes, it does. So will we bolt it to force the action on the Mother of Runes? Looks like Boettcher's considering it, but he says, all right, that's fine, I'll take 3.
I think he wants to try to overload in one turn as much as possible. Spreading his resources out across multiple turns against Mother Runes is not the most efficient thing to be doing.
Shields consulting the hand again now, how he wants to move forward.
He can also just preemptively just vial in this Revoker named Lavamancer as well.
That's definitely an option.
So it just depends, how does David want to measure the game here? Does he try to want to contain Jared's board a little bit with this Revoker, or does he want to make it a pure race, vial in his other Avenger, and try to win the game that way?
That's what makes this deck so difficult. Again, it just seems like it's a white creature deck, but it's anything but that.
And with the second land, he can do the best of both worlds here.
Yeah, I learned that a lot when I was watching Thomas and Voltson play last summer when they came over to play in the Open Series and a couple of Grand Prix. Such a great Death and Taxes player from Europe. You see Thalia going to be hard cast here. This might force Boettcher's hand a little bit. We'll see.
Well, it's still not that great to be bolting in response here. I mean, maybe from a mana efficiency standpoint, he needs to start doing things like that, but this is the tough squeeze that Death and Taxes puts you in here. There's all these moments where it does not feel quite right to be trading your resources, and the game just kind of slowly slips away.
What I always find interesting, too, is that it's not doing anything kind of loud or impressive. Well, the Runes isn't going to impress anybody. Fresh Invoker's not going to impress anybody, but the combination of cards that are out there make for a real headache.
For sure. The only time where the deck feels like it's doing anything completely ridiculous is the mana denial plan.
Yeah.
When they're Port, Wasteland, Valley, a Vial, that sort of game. But You often see in games like this, which is, you know, can you identify the critical piece that's in play? I suppose it's Aether Vial, if anything, but all these cards are part of the puzzle here. Thalia is going to make Jared's mana less efficient. Mother Runes is protecting from removal. Phyrexian Revoker is shutting down Lawmancer. Avengers allowing David to race. They're all part of the overall game plan that he's executing.
Polluted Delta going to be sacrificed here from Boettcher. He's going to go down to 14. I think the fun thing, too, is that if you're Boettcher, I mean, you've got removal spells. We know that much. The question is, which ones do you point it at? And Dave can choose which creatures to save.
Yeah.
So that's actually what makes it relatively difficult as well. Is, you know, Boettcher might point, let's say, a Bolt at Thalia right now, and Shiels goes, that's fine, puts it in the graveyard. I don't need that. It's a pain for you. It's not a pain for me. Boettcher figuring out which land he wants to search up here. Going to go with Tropical Island.
And Jared can't even use Golgari Charm to get out of this because he loses True Name Nemesis and Grim Lawmancer in all of this.
Wouldn't be the best.
Not a great spot. I'm not even sure he brought it in, quite frankly.
So we'll be moving to Boettcher's turn in just a moment. Again, the updates on the brackets, they're pretty simple. Jerry Mee, he's the 1 seed. He's waiting for the winner of this match. On the other side, you've got Jason Ellis and Ross Merriam, 2 players who came together in the same car, waiting to play in the semifinals. That'll probably be the match that we do start with. We'll see. 2 mana. This is a brainstorm. Boettcher not happy with what he's got right now. Again, as he did sacrifice a fetch line, this will be a fresh one. So there's a Ponder. That's a Delta. That's like a Taxian Probe. So, got to put 2 back, draw 1. You imagine he'll shuffle away the other one with the Delta.
And the Gitaxian Probe, not really that good here. I don't think Jared can afford to spend his life or his mana this way.
2 cards back. Gonna untap, take a draw. Imagine this is the Delta. It is. That means the Probe stayed back, as you did mention. Yeah, looks like he will begin by sacrificing Delta and going to 13. Feels like maybe time for a Ponder. Get a better idea of what to look at, you think?
It's still just tough to commit your resources in this way. He needs help. He needs to find help, so I'm sure he's going to be pondering here.
Hey, part of the reason that Ponder is attractive is because it costs 1 mana. It would not be played if it cost 2.
No. People are not going out of their way to play Impulse in Legacy, so hard to imagine Ponder would make the cut. No. Or Telling Time, another analog.
That card just stinks.
Don't tell Jeff Hoogland that, man. He's been playing Telling Time in that Modern Fairies deck for a bit.
That card stinks.
Whenever you're playing against someone online, I like the smoking gun moment where you're sure they've copied someone's list. And whenever you're playing against the blue or red fairies deck and they cast the Telling Time, that's the smoking gun.
Yeah.
I know you didn't decide to put that in the deck on your own.
That's Jeff Hoogland's work. Ponder here for Fire and Ice, a Force of Will, and a Wasteland.
Don't tell me you thought of that independently, because I do not believe that. Fire Ice is a really nice draw here from Jared, as he can target Mother Runes and Phyrexian Revoker and put Dave to the test in terms of which one he wants to save.
I think he saves Mother pretty easily. Also, don't forget that Fire and Ice, for example, if he does cast Fire, it's all of his mana for the turn. Because it does cost 1 more because of Thalia. And as you mentioned, this is the squeeze that Death and Taxes puts you in. What do you want to target? Thalia makes everything cost a little bit more. Do I care about what you're targeting? Maybe yes, maybe no.
It's totally death by 1,000 cuts.
Ponder's going to keep those cards on top. Here comes True Name.
Now, don't underestimate Jared's range in all this. I mean, he's hitting with True Name Nemesis. That's a guaranteed 3 points of damage for the rest of the game. And he has 2 bolts in hand. If he's able to free up that Lavamancer, that's even more.
Shields at 14. Shields with the Bluff activation.
Gotta keep him honest.
Yeah, certainly do. 1 vial going to tick up to 3, the other one at 2. You saw him shortcut that there, but very obvious what he's doing. From 2 to 1 to 3 to 2. And now what that means is Flicker Wisp is at the ready.
I'm sure that will be comically annoying to whatever Jared does somehow.
Typically what Flicker Wisp does.
Yeah. Maybe saving one of his creatures from the Fire Ice or some such.
Yeah. Revoker, do you want to come in? Seem a little hesitant, little guy.
Thalia is a safe attack as a first striker. I suppose Shiels is happy to say, well, I don't have to protect this Revoker anymore if it trades with the Grim Lavamancer.
Oh, here we go. That looks like to be the thought process. So, in comes everybody with Mother of Runes. Mother of Runes oftentimes staying on D.
No.
No interest in the red zone for old mom.
This is a tough block. Of course, blocking Thalia is off the table in this spot, so it's whether or not Jared's willing to trade with the Revoker.
He's going to go reaching here. Lightning Bolt going to go after Sarah Avenger. See if Dave wants to use Mother of Runes or if he wants to use Flicker Wisp. How tricky does he want to get?
And an interesting tap. I mean, the way this all this mana got tapped is pretty interesting here, insofar as David does not have to worry about Grim Lavamancer getting activated this turn or inside of combat.
Mm-hmm. Boettcher looking at Bolt and Fire and Ice. You're going to get an activation here. The Vile Flicker Wisp is going to save the Avenger. So that'll go hiding for a moment. It'll come back a little later. I think what's important there is another Flyers man to the table.
Yep.
However, it is one with 1 toughness, so that Fire and Ice is going to be working overtime. However, Shiels is going to go after something with the Wasteland. He's actually going to go to the green source.
It's the only thing he can cut off. I think that if he got to see Jared's hand, it's possible that he would rather go after a Volcanic, because Jared's trying to both activate Lavamancer and cast red spells potentially, but
Yeah.
I think in the dark, this is probably better.
Yep.
Because the game looks like it's shaping up to be a pure damage race. And if Deathrite Shaman is drawn, you don't want him suddenly gaining 2 life a turn.
14-9, the life total is in favor of Shiels. Boettcher will take a draw here. You see the Fire and Ice, you see the Bolt, now you see a Wasteland. Now don't forget, he knew that Wasteland was coming because of the Ponder. So he knows what the next card down is too. And basically what that means is he felt that the Fire Ice that he saw was going to be very good this game. We'll see if he's right or wrong about that.
It's definitely going to be good, but it's unclear if it's going to be good enough. I mean, right now, if Shiels has a Sarah Avenger left over in his hand, he's presenting lethal in the air next turn. Not to mention all the stuff he's got going on the ground.
There you do see the front runner in the Rookie of the Year race. Can he work himself out of this situation? Down a game, playing against a great player in David Shiels. And the board position does not look favorable, even though a turn 3 Trinity Nemesis is how really this all began.
And David's done a great job of playing the game in such a way that all Trinity Nemesis is you take 3 damage a turn, which is something that Dave definitely has the tools to beat.
You can tell this is almost the reason that Trinity Nemesis is paired with equipment. It's because, sure, getting it for 3 unblockable every turn and being able to block stuff with no punishment is really nice, but it seems like you might need to accelerate that clock.
I totally agree. It's not like people are going out of their way to play Rashad Airship in Legacy, so there's got to be something else going on.
In comes another Sarah Avenger. Wow, Shiels is really picking up the pace now. Now Boettcher may have to have a response.
Again, this is lethal in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Jared was trying to play this game in such a way that he would be able to race and clear out with the bolts, but he's tried to do some amount of managing of David's board, but that's just been too hard to do with all the tricks, Mother of Runes, and then the Flicker Wisp last turn.
The card that really messed all of this up is Mother of Runes right from the get-go. And that just goes to show the power of that card, which is way better than we give it any credit for. It's an easy card to make fun of in Legacy, but look at what it's doing to this game. It is hampering Boettcher in an incredible way right now.
I think there's a historical under-reading of Mother Runes because when it was printed and standard legal, people were dying on the second turn because of bargain or replenish kills were going on or memory jar was legal. So Mother Runes was never really a dominating presence because it was an all-combo metagame. If this got printed in a block where anything resembling modern Magic, it would have been the best thing going on. People's decks would have been completely warped to play with this and fight against it.
Lightning Bolt gets countered by Mother of Runes. Fire Ice does a really nice job, though, of picking off Revoker as well as Flicker Wisp. However, 8 points of damage are still going to come through. So Shiels is going to put Boettcher down to 1. Going to play a Plains and simply pass the turn back, daring Boettcher to do something awesome. Now, yes, his Lavamancer has been unlocked, but Lavamancer doesn't shoot down Sarah Avenger. That it does not. Boettcher going to show forceful. He's going to concede the game. David Shiels is going to move on here to the semifinals of our Legacy Open in Providence. He's going to go against Jerry Me, play against Bug Delver.
Not surprising, this matchup feels really rough for Jared, and you kind of saw why. Even with his good draws, involved a lot of removal spells, Grim Lavamancer, Trinidad Nemesis. Turn 1 Aether Vial into Mother of Runes was just too hard for Jared to navigate. I mean, he came into play on effectively the second turn of the game, and it was there the whole game, and made it impossible for Jared to do much of anything.
What that shows me, and I know what a lot